Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be dissertating and talking about zodiac or astrological sign compatibility between Virgo and Sagittarius. And yes, it does apply and pertain to the sun, moon, and ascendant for both people. Well, I think this is a really intriguing and interesting combination. Okay, they are incompatible by sign. They are square by sign, three signs apart, and you have Virgo, of course, which could be very being a feminine sign suggests introversion. Sagittarius is a masculine sign, which suggests extroversion. You have Virgo, which is very primarily prudent, cautious, and judicious. And Sagittarius is a little more foolhardy, a little more impulsive, spontaneous. They're a little bit more of a risk taker. And if this is a situation, say, where these people, where it's a significant other situation and they're living together, well, these people might be diametrically opposed as far as finances go. Virgo can be very frugal and can be very tight as far as things of financial nature goes. So Virgo likes to save often consistently, and when they're able to, and if they're in that situation, they could do so. But you have Sagittarius is a little bit more, they're not quite as prudent with finances. They could spend money a little bit more on can spend an exorbitant amount a lot quicker than Virgo can. They may incline toward extravagance to some degree. You also, the one thing where I think is interesting where these two are similar, though, is that you have, they're both intellectual. Sagittarius can be that perpetual learner, and Virgo can really be analytical. They could be very learned and like to study a lot, and really that they like to assimilate knowledge as well. But Virgo, their knowledge is more about assimilating and amassing details. Virgo likes to often look at data and extrapolate data, and Sagittarius is kind of like that visionary. They're a little bit more future oriented, and they're not so much saying the details, are more about the broader picture. Another way that these two can be strongly opposed is because Virgo, being that feminine sign, they like to stay in often a lot more as opposed to Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is really, lack of a better word, maybe very outdoorsy and can often like exploration and likes to go gallivanting to place and more adventurous, likes the outdoors. Sagittarius is often even more sports minded than Virgo is. However, you could have a happy medium here because Virgo can have an affinity for health and be health conscious. And a lot of times when people are health conscious, of course, that means that they often have a health regime which can include exercise. And the exercising, I mean, you could do that indoors. It depends on what you're doing. You can work out indoors, have an indoor gym. And Sagittarius, being often sports minded, it likes to often exercise as well. So you do have that commonality, perhaps with those two in that respect. So anyway, another thing what's different is that Virgo can be, being an earth sign, can incline toward being a little bit melancholy, I believe. And I think the earth signs have that proclivity toward that part, toward being that way, a little bit sad, a little bit despondent more often. And you have Sagittarius, which is like the exact antithesis of this, because Sagittarius can often be very expansive, very jocular, very whimsical. Sagittarius may like to joke around a lot. And Virgo has to be careful not all the time maybe to take Sagittarius too seriously. Sagittarius can also, of course, be very forthright, very blunt and outspoken. And Virgo at times may be rebuffed by that, just like Sagittarius may be rebuffed by sometimes Virgo's criticism. Virgo is generally, not malicious. When they say something, if it sounds negative, they feel like they're giving constructive criticism just so they could help that person not commit the same error again. So that's basically their purpose for sometimes pointing out things about to others. And Virgo, being very punctilious with details, has that propensity to see a lot of things that others don't, and often it comes out in a criticism, but not in most instances not intended to hurt somebody or to come out as like a real strong derogatory remark. So those are some things to look at. In Virgo, as far as like in the bedroom, if this is a situation where it's a romantic, sexual, significant other situation, and these people are having sex in the bedroom, the thing about it is Virgo generally likes a consistency, and Sagittarius can be a little bit flighty. Sagittarius likes to extemporize, and they like to they would be the one want to spice up things, so to speak. And Sagittarius may see Virgo as a little bit too monotonous and a little bit too consistent, and Sagittarius will try to expand Virgo's horizons that way, so to speak, and get them out of their box. And Virgo may not always want to do this, and they like to have a little bit more consistency, and also the reliability thing as far as this goes. Virgo is the type, though they're not exactly the most, on average, I don't see them as being the most sexual sign, but when it comes to this and in other aspects in life in general, they often want consistency and reliability and punctuality, and Sagittarius might not always be there for that. So anyway, it's also important to look at the aspect, if any, that is made between these energies of these people, as this could indicate perhaps a better compatibility than otherwise indicated, or maybe not as much. So anyway, in many instances, you will have a square aspect take place between the energies of these people. Now, let's say, for example, one person has the sun, moon, or ascendant at Virgo at 23 degrees. And the other person has the sun, moon, or ascendant in Sagittarius at 20 degrees. Well, they are square by sign anyway, and if you have the square aspect can be adverse or adversarial, and it could indicate that you may have more challenges and more conflict and obstacles in the relationship than even otherwise indicated. This could really, basically, since they're already square by sign, and you have to factor that into the equation, and if you have the square aspect, this could be kind of a double whammy, and this could accentuate perhaps the negativity, the incompatibility and disparities that exist between these two people of these signs. So, however, on a positive note, you can have an out-of-sign trine aspect take place between the energies of these people. Let's say, for example, one person has the sun, moon, or ascendant at Virgo at 1 degree, and the other person has the sun, moon, or ascendant at Sagittarius at 29 degrees. Well, that would form an out-of-sign trine aspect, which could be positive and auspicious, and you have to factor in, of course, they are still square by sign. However, if you have the trine aspect, this could add a little bit more harmony, and there might be a stronger ability to work through the disparities and more adaptability as far as this goes. So anyway, on another positive note, you can also have an out-of-sign sextile aspect take place between the energies of these people. Let's say, for example, one person has the sun, moon, or ascendant in Virgo at 28 degrees, and the other person has the sun, moon, or ascendant at Sagittarius at 2 degrees. Well, that would form an out-of-sign sextile aspect, which could be positive and auspicious like the trine. However, you still have to factor in that they are square by sign, so you still have the general incompatibility that would exist, and of course factor that into the equation. Well, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for zodiac sign compatibility between Virgo and Sagittarius. And stay tuned next time, where I'll be dissertating and talking about zodiac sign compatibility between Virgo and Capricorn. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.